In this video we take a look at casting on Purlwise. Stay with me and I'll show you how. We might want to cast on Purlwise to give us a neater edge to our finished work, or if we're working in a pattern. In this first stocking stitch sample I've cast on Knitwise, and you can see these little purl bumps along the front. Compare it to the second sample where I've cast on Purlwise. We can see that our edging has no bumps on the front side. Here I've done two samples in garter stitch. Here I've used a cable cast on. On the Knitwise example we can see more of a ridge in between the cast on and the first row of stitches, whereas Purlwise it looks more part of the stitch and a less obvious cast on. Similar for the long tail cast on. Here I've cast on Knitwise. We can see the little purl ridges on the front. Casting on Purlwise, we don't see that ridge. So let's get started. First we'll take a look at the purl cast on. First we make a slip knot. And we slide that loop onto our needle. We have our working yarn at the front, tail yarn at the back. We come through that stitch purlwise, yarn over, pull it through, and we slip that new stitch from the left needle onto the right needle, and we've made our first purl cast on. Into the next stitch purlwise, yarn over, pull it through, and we slip that new stitch from the left needle onto the right needle. This time we're going to leave the left needle in the loop because we're already in position to yarn over and purl another stitch. Yarn over, pull it through, and slip the stitch from the left needle onto the right needle. Yarn over, pull it through, and slip the stitch onto the right needle. Yarn over, pull it through, and slip the stitch. We carry on yarning over, pulling through, and slipping the stitch onto the right needle until we've cast on our desired number of stitches. You will find this is probably about the quickest and easiest way to cast on. And that's the purl cast on. Next we'll take a look at the cable cast on Purlwise. We make a slip knot and we slip that loop onto our needle with the working yarn in the front. We come through that first stitch purlwise, yarn over, pull it through, and slip that loop onto the right needle. Now we're ready to begin our cable cast on, and to do this purlwise, we come in between these two stitches from back to front. Yarn over, pull that through, and slip that loop onto the right needle. We come in between the last two stitches from back to front. Yarn over, pull it through, and slip that loop onto the right needle. Come in between the last two stitches from back to front, yarn over, pull it through, and slip the loop onto the right needle. Come in between the last two stitches from back to front, yarn over, pull it through, and slip the loop onto the needle. We carry on, coming in between the last two stitches, yarning over and pulling through, and slipping that loop onto the needle until we've cast on our desired number of stitches. And that's the Purlwise cable cast on. And finally, we'll look at the long tail cast on done Purlwise. To get the right amount of length for our tail, we can wrap the yarn around our needle for as many times as we need stitches. For example, if I need 12 stitches, I wrap the yarn around 12 times. There I make a slip knot, and I slip that loop onto the needle with the tail in the front. We bring our thumb and forefinger in between the tail and the working yarn, with the working yarn over the index finger and the tail over the thumb. The other 3 fingers holding onto the tail and the working yarn. We bring our needle to the base of the index finger, picking up the yarn at the back, pulling it up and over the yarn at the front, coming underneath the yarn over the thumb, pull that through the loop on the index finger, take our finger out of the loop and pull the yarn tight. We pick up the yarn behind the index finger, pulling it up and over the loop at the front of the index finger. We come underneath the loop on the thumb, pull that through the loop on the index finger, and pull it tight. Pick up the loop from behind the index finger, bring it over the loop at the front, come under the loop on the thumb, bring that through the loop on the finger, and pull it tight. Pick up the loop at the back, bring it over the loop at the front, under the loop on the thumb, through the loop on the finger, and pull it tight. We carry on picking up stitches, picking up the loop at the back of the index finger, coming over the loop at the front of the index finger, coming under the loop on the thumb, pulling it through the loop on the finger, and pulling the stitch tight. And we keep going until we've cast on our desired number of stitches. And that's the Purlwise long tail cast on. And that's how to cast on Purlwise.